Hi, welcome to another episode of beekeeping here on the Daddykirbs farm. Today I'm going to attempt to split some hives. I think I have enough resources to where I can start some additional hives. In the last beekeeping episode you saw that this hive was doing pretty well. I think I could take some resources out of there. Some frames of brood, eggs, things like that. Also, you saw that that one was suffering. Pretty sure it didn't make it, but we'll get in and check that out. I have lots of brood frames in this horizontal hive. I would kind of like to take some of those out and start some over here. Let's see how that works too. First of all, we're going to open up this one and see if there's anything left of it. If there is, maybe we can salvage it. If not, we'll probably just repurpose this hive box right here into a split. Oh, look at that. There are bees in there. Looks like they're mostly on one frame. Let's see if they've made a queen cell. If they have made a queen cell, then I'm going to leave them alone and let them finish doing their business. If not, maybe we'll just incorporate them into the split. They have a few frames down here on the end that they're not utilizing at all. All of their business right now is down here on this side. And most of it's on the one frame. Let's see if they've made a queen cell. This was that frame of brood that I had put in here to help save this hive. This is not a full colony. This is just a handful of bees left over. Trying to raise up the last bit of brood that's in here. So we'll just incorporate this one into the split. I'm going to take some resources out of this hive to see if we can build up a split. I may take some of the frames out of the horizontal hive as well. They had plenty of brood frames last time I was out here, so it may be better to take from here, but we're going to get into this one and see how it's doing and see if it has enough to donate to this split. What we're looking for is 3 or 4 good frames of brood, eggs, baby bees. Many people with the walkaway split, the way that's supposed to work is that you just put it in there. You don't really care where the queen is, because if she ends up here, that's fine. She's going to make this colony great. If not, she's in here, that's fine. She's going to continue making this colony work. Whichever one does not have the queen, they should be building a queen cell and making a queen, and that's how you split the colony. It's a little bit breezy today, but otherwise it's a beautiful day. It's about 75 degrees. There is a queen excluder on this one, so I'm not going to worry about what's up here. This is where they should be building honey resources. This is the taller medium, so I could use these frames if there's plenty of brood. In fact, I think I'm going to take these out and build this box with a deep. I'm going to put a deep box over here and try to eliminate this size from my apiary altogether. I do have my Hive Butler box out here, but right now it's full of frames that I carried out here. Okay, just resources there. Actually, it's mostly an empty frame. Okay, this is a frame of brood and eggs. Actually, it's very full of eggs. I don't see the queen on this one. Like I said, it doesn't really matter where the queen ends up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this one over here. That one's mostly empty. This one's full of brood. Pretty sure I'm not taking the queen over on that one, but we're going to put that one in there. That one's mostly empty. This one's full of brood as well, and I am looking for the queen because even though it really doesn't matter where she ends up, I would kind of like to keep her in the parent colony here. I have room for one more frame, and I'd like to get a frame that has honey and pollen on it. Okay, that frame's not bad, but I think I'm actually going to go into... I'm going to see if they have a frame in the bottom that has more honey and pollen. Oh, this one's loaded with pollen and some honey. So this would be a good frame, I think, to go ahead and put in there. Okay, now we're going to rebuild this second box with a deep box so that I can get rid of this taller medium. I'm just glancing for the queen just to know. It's not because I need to do anything in particular except to be cautious. I'm going to stagger this with deep frames and those taller mediums. I brought some deep frames out. These deep frames that came out of here will probably just go straight to the freezer to make sure there's no wax moths alive on there. Now we can put the queen excluder back on this one. Try to drive them down a little bit so that there's less risk of them getting squashed. Close this one up. I can close this one. I'm going to scoot this split right over next to the parent colony. By putting the split directly next to the parent colony, the parent hive, the bees that belonged in here may drift back and forth. Some will come over here, some will go back. That's okay because the resources will be coming and going to both colonies or both hives. Once the queen cell, I presume the queen cell will be built in here, and then the bees that come and go from this colony will be a little more loyal to this colony. But in the meantime, having those bees go back and forth is not a bad thing. I think this one might be a little more tricky. At least in my mind, it seems like it's going to be a little more tricky. I'm going to take resources out of this horizontal hive and put them over in this second one that's currently empty, and use that divider board to just create a smaller space like a nuke hive. In the last video, I did expand this colony by several frames. So this time we're going to actually be taking some of the brood frames out of the middle of the brood, taking them over to this other hive, and then bringing this hive back a little bit. Maybe not the full number of frames, because I might insert a few more frames, but we'll just see how they're doing in there. I'm going to take 3 boards off, just to have plenty of room to move around as I'm taking the brood frames out. I'm going to go ahead and go open that other hive so I can start transferring these back and forth. Putting a couple of frames in from my hive butler box. I brought them out. That has some drawn comb, so I'm going to put those in. Alright, now we'll go over and get some resources from this other hive. Frames of brood, eggs, and larvae. Plenty of that brood resource for them to be building a queen cell with. If they don't have eggs, they can't build a queen. Okay, this one's honey. So this would actually be a good one to move over because of food resources. That's more honey. It's not very much honey right there, but we're gonna leave this one in here. Put it up here for now. It's a lot more honey right there, so we need to get into the brood frames, which should be down here a little bit. I thought they were in the middle, but nope. That's just honey. There we go. That's a big frame of brood right there. Looks like a lot of drone brood on the bottom. So we're going to move that one over. I don't see the queen, but again, if she's on there, the way that the split's supposed to work, it should be okay. A lot more brood here. I think we'll leave that one in here. No particular reason. It's another good frame of brood. I don't see the queen. We'll take that one over. Okay, we'll go ahead and take that one too. I'm going to shake a few bees off this one. Just that big clump of bees that was hanging down there. This has a lot of pollen and brood. I'm going to see what else is in here before I start carrying any more over there. I want to make sure I'm leaving enough for this hive. It looks like I am, but just to make sure. That's a very nice frame, again, with pollen and brood. And the queen. Okay, so she's here on this middle frame that's hanging here. I'm going to go ahead and take this one over to the other hive. So this is the new hive. I'm going to bring all of those over. So there's four frames that I brought over with pollen, brood with eggs and larvae. The queen stays in the original colony, and I'm going to put in here one more very full frame. This has some honey, but it's mostly just drawn comb, so we're going to put that down in here. This should be a very nice split. This is all in front of that first entrance here on this hive. We're going to take some of these out. We're going to put them down in my my hive butler box here. And we're going to cover this one back up. This hive is hopefully a very successful split. That's what we're aiming for, is to get a colony established in this second horizontal hive. Now the other bees didn't really like that vent over their hive, so I'm going to leave that one down here on the other side of the divider board. I will get my skinny board. That's where I identify where the divider board is. So there's extra frames. This is just storage in here right now. Okay, we can close that second horizontal hive up and cross our fingers. I'll take my hive butler box over here to have frames available to put that first horizontal hive back together. For about 10 minutes now, I felt like I had a bee in my veil. So I'm gonna walk away over here. I think there's a bee on my ear. So I'm just gonna walk a little bit away and take a peek. I have to walk away because the bees like to follow me for a short distance, sometimes a long distance. Okay, I guess I didn't, but that bee that followed me over here would like to get in my veil. Alright, just to recap what we did, we split this hive. Cross your fingers, thumbs up, let's hope that one works. We inspected this one and it's still a small hive, but it looks like they're doing okay. We took some frames out of this horizontal hive to put over into this one, hopefully to create a split, a new colony for over here. And that one still looks very strong. So again, cross your fingers, thumbs up for those. I truly do have a good time here in the Daddykirbs Beeyard, making sure I'm not standing in ants. I may not be the best beekeeper on the internet. That's okay, I don't need to be. But I am loving the journey. I love being out here. I love learning from the bees. I love learning from you guys because many times you guys offer great tips and hints in the comments below. Thank you for that. And really just being able to get out in nature and witness these beautiful creatures, bees as individuals and bees as colonies, they truly are magnificent. Thank you so much for being here with me. I believe everyone has a story. Did you hear that? I believe everyone has a story and every story counts. I believe your story counts because I believe you count. Thank you so much for being a part of my story through this video and letting me be a part of yours. I'll talk to you soon.